A new start.
Yes.
Such a big new start. Talk about that.
It's definitely a new start, and I never really thought I'd get this big of a new start at this point in my life, which just goes to show you can plan as much as you want, but you really never know what's going to happen, and I truly could not be more grateful to have my new start here. I've been, a huge fan of Georgia. I came here on a recruiting trip. I love the coaches, I love the people, I love the school, and just eventually finding my way back here, I think always shows like you always end up where you're meant to be, and I'm so grateful for the time that I had at Cal and the people there that influenced who I am and that supported me through some of the best and the hardest years of my life, and now all of that has led me here, and I couldn't be more excited about it.
You haven't been here long, but you seem so settled to me already.
I do. I feel so settled here. I think I've been here 8 days now, and I feel like I've already been here for like a year, and it's been amazing. Like, I already feel like a dog, which is really cool, just to immediately be here and feel so accepted and so welcomed, and that just says so much about the people here that have welcomed me so well.
And it's a beautiful campus,
Gorgeous.
even in the rain.
Yeah, and even in the rain, snow, whatever it is, this campus is gorgeous, and I've been in classes since before I started the spring semester here, which has been a blast, and it's really kind of rejuvenated my love for school too, which is awesome. Just kind of switching that up a little bit and being in new classrooms and new professors. Like, I really do kind of feel like a freshman again, so it's all so exciting. Hopefully that lasts. But I really am. I'm so excited to be here. Classes have been awesome, and it's been really fun just putting myself in a new environment and learning and growing from that.
How's it been being in the water training already? Already training with the Georgia team?
Yes, I started training the second I got here, and so far it's just felt like training camp. I'm so tired. Practices are incredibly challenging, and that's exactly what I need, and I'm so grateful because my coach Dave Durden at Cal and my new coach here, Jack Bowerly, have been working together so well in order to make this the easiest transition as possible for me, and so the fact that they were willing to do that meant the world to me. And so my transition into the pool here has been seamless. It's been so easy, and I think it's going to be a place where I can really thrive. Yeah, so 2017 was a pretty rough year. After 2016, which was also a rough year. Definitely had like a little bit of a train going, but I think it's important to recognize that and to be vulnerable and to show people like this is real, this is life. Every year of your life is not going to be the next best year. Like, there's going to be aspects of it that absolutely are, but within that there's also going to be some incredible challenge, and sometimes those times of challenge last a lot longer than we would like them to, but that only helps you come out that much stronger at the end. And so to go through that year, as hard as it was, I am incredibly grateful for it, and the things that I learned, and the people that stood by me, and the people that came into my life. And it was hard, but at the end, standing here, it was more than worth it. And I know that whatever comes at me in the future, I'll be able to use this and look back on this time as saying, I made it through so much more than I ever thought I could have. So, like, bring it at me. Like, life, whatever you got, like, I can handle it.
That is awesome, because you said in that post too, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for it. I learned so much. I grew so much. So thank you.
Yeah, I think it's huge. And part of, I think, having my faith be one of the most important things in my life is my backbone of my faith is just gratefulness for all the blessings that I have in my life. And I think learning to be grateful for not only the good things, but also the things that do push you, that challenge you, that are really hard to go through. Those can be some of the most influential times in our life. So I almost think we should have a more grateful attitude to the hard things than we should for the good things. And if not, just equal gratitude for all of that, because all of it is meant to be, and all of it shapes us into who we're supposed to become.
So good. It's so good. How are you feeling? You made the announcement about your surgery. So you had that, and you are healed, and you're in the water. Talk about that process, because that was the first surgery you've ever had.
Yes, it was. So getting my bilateral shoulder surgery was a doozy for sure. I never would have thought in my career I would have had to get surgery on both my shoulders, but I'm sure every athlete says that. You know, they come out and they say, this wasn't a part of the plan. It was never a part of the plan for me to have to go through this. And again, it was such a learning experience. I had the best doctors, the best physical therapists that helped me get through it. And it taught me more about patience than I think anything else in my life has. And it's very, very hard for anyone, but I think especially for elite athletes who just have to get better every day. We have to do something to improve. To be in a situation where the only thing you can do is rest and recover for longer periods of time than you've ever had to before is really, really challenging. And then working yourself back from that, I think, has been hard. I've learned being out of shape is probably my least favorite thing in the entire world. And trying to get back into shape is one of the hardest challenges as an athlete. And so kind of fighting my way through that has been as mentally exhausting as it has been physically exhausting, and just trusting in the process and know that something is going to come out of it at the end. But I'm so glad that I did what I did, and I think that'll help set me up to where I need to be over the next couple of years.
Because you were hardcore training in elementary school. I mean, you've really never been out of shape. You've always been an athlete, and you've gone season to season seamlessly your whole life.
Absolutely, yeah. I've never had a time in my life where I wasn't swimming 4 hours a day, and like that was just life to me. Like I didn't know anything different. And so kind of taking the time where I stepped away from the pool, you know, for physical reasons for the first couple months, and then, you know, for mental reasons after that, of just needing a break and needing to refine my why of why am I doing this? Why am I still training? Why am I sacrificing so much? Because every great how needs an even better why, because I can't even begin to think about how I'm going to accomplish what I want to accomplish if I don't have a solid why. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? And so I really needed to refine that before I came back, because I knew without it, it would be so hard to come in and train the way I wanted to every day.
You found your why?
I think I found my why. And, you know, I think my why is going to be something that develops over time, especially with this new transition. I think being here at Georgia is going to help me even further figure out what my why is. I think at this point I know I have one, but I'm really trying to kind of get down to the nitty-gritty details of what that why exactly is, because I do want to make sure with all my heart that it is for the right reasons, and that ultimately at the end of the day it's for me.
And do you have like some end goals, or what you would say would be on the horizon?
Yeah, you know, I think for right now, you know, one of the best things Jack said to me when we were talking about me coming here is, you know, he said, Miss, like you're not just gonna come here and train here to like be a great swimmer again. Like you're coming here to be better than you've ever been before. Like that's my intention as a coach. Like I'm not just here to make you a great swimmer, I'm here to make you the best you've ever been.
Wow.
And just hearing that, I think, was huge for me, because I've dealt with so many confidence issues about like, can I really be better than I was? And like, again, how do I do that? Like, where do I even start? And to have a coach that's just so firm and steady in the belief that like, no, that's my job. Like my job here as a coach is to make you better than you've ever been. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make that happen. And then on my end, that's where I have to say, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make that happen. So whatever that means, whatever that looks like, I think Jack and I are both here to make me better than I've ever been.
I know, people love the word comeback.
Yeah.
What does that mean for you?
You know, I have mixed feelings about the word comeback. I completely understand it, and I totally recognize that that's what this looks like to people, that's what this journey looks like. But to me, like, my journey's been continuous, and a comeback to me kind of insinuates that, like, you know, there was a moment of stop, or a moment of pause, or a moment that, you know, things didn't go as planned, which they didn't, but I still believe I was on this journey upward, even when it may have looked like it wasn't. And whether that's personally, emotionally, like whatever it is, I, as a person, have continued to grow throughout the past several years, and I've continued on this journey. So while in the pool it might seem more of a comeback, I think personally I've been here the whole time, and I've never left, and I never will. And so it'll be fun to see how it plays out, but it's hard for me to look at that in my own mind as a comeback. I have learned so much more from the lowest lows than I have from the highest highs. I cherish the highest highs more than I can say. Those times and those memories, just reflecting on them, brings me just an indescribable amount of joy and happiness and gratitude. But the lowest lows, sometimes as hard as they are to look back on, again, it gives me this hope and this strength in myself that I was able to make it through some things that I never thought I was going to even have to go through, let alone make it out of. And I think a big thing that I've learned is a lot of the reasons why we go through what we go through is then to help other people who are going through the same thing. And having experienced that personally now as well, I would go through what I went through 100 times over if I knew it would give me this wisdom and this knowledge, as little as it may be, to help people who are experiencing something similar. And so that is what I believe makes a person who they are, is like coming out of something really hard and staying true to themselves. And it's hard to do that when you've never been through something tough and something hard. So again, being grateful for the experiences that help show me like who I want to be and who I can be.
Yeah. And for you, the future looks?
For me, the future looks however I want it to, which I think is the first time in my life that I've really realized that, and I've really come to terms with that. For so long, like, my future had been written out for me. You know, the second I made a national team, my future was written out for the next 8 to 12 years as a 13-year-old. Like, and so for now to be in a position where my future is in my own hands, and I know that I'm in control of my own life, and I have people that are going to support me through any and every decision that I choose to make, because they know that I'll make it in the best interest and with good thought and with seeking out wisdom and counsel. And so to have those people to help me come to that I'm in control, it's my life, and it's up to me to make of it what I will.
So when you think about the best is still to come, the best could be a lot of different things.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And that's like what's so beautiful about it is I think God has just given me so much perspective throughout all of this that, like you said, you know, the best is yet to come, and that could mean a million different things to me right now. That could be in the pool, out of the pool, in the classroom, out of like wherever it is. Like, I truly believe the best is yet to come, and that just gets me so excited and gives me so much to look forward to.
Last question. You still love swimming? Have you fallen back in love with it, I guess?
I have, and I think it's been a hard process, because while I have fallen back in love with the sport, I don't think it will ever be the same to me as it was. And so that's something that I'm still kind of working through, is recognizing that it's okay to love it differently than how I loved it before, as long as I do still love it. So really just working through that, but again, making sure that I'm here dedicating so much of myself and my life to something that I do love, because that's why I believe we're here.
So many people put Olympic years as markers. Do you have a thought about 2020, or are you going day by day?
I do. I think it's especially important when I'm kind of in this hard period of training, of really trying to get back into shape and just getting pounded every day. It's like you kind of have to think about, you know, the big reason, you know, like, what am I working towards? What is my goal? And so having 2020 as my big goal, I think it's almost different than it's been in the past. Almost always I've had really short-term goals and just worked towards those. And I think with where I am now, I still need to have that patience. And so it's almost better for me to have that really long-term goal and recognize, like, be where you are right now. Have patience in where you're at and know that you will get there, and like take that time day by day to get better and do what you need to do each day. And that way I don't kind of feel this intense rush to like have to be exactly where I need to be right this second, because I think that would be mentally hard to deal with every day, feeling like I'm constantly not where I need to be. So I'm very much looking forward to that opportunity if it comes, and if that's what I decide to do, which right now I very strongly believe it is, but it'll be fun getting to experience working towards that here.
That is so awesome.